Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 22 of my early campaign where I'm playing as the Byzantines. And the last episode did bring a few developments on the world scale. The Russians did finally come back, and this is a welcome sight because now I'm able to trade with these ports, and that has given me a lot more money, which feels pretty good. They have decent armies as well, and I'm looking forward to fighting alongside them against the Mongols when they do arrive in around 10 or so years. So that's going to be exciting stuff. And in addition to that, there's some smaller moves down on this side. My plans of basically having the having a little bit of an Italian resurgence here by giving them Sicily. They took it, which is good, and that's allowed them to now move into Milan as well. And this is good. They're starting to gain a little bit more primacy in this area of the map, and you know, I'm trying to balance things out here and sort of pull the strings from behind, and it seems to be working. At least this plan worked. Sometimes my plans don't work, and this one seems to be working. Now, of course, this can backfire. You know, the Italians are a faction that does like to build fleets. That's a good thing because it allows them to build up their economy, but as we've seen in this game, sometimes factions will simply just start a pointless war by attacking your boats. Just because you have a boat in a sea region, they have a boat in a sea region, and they just attack you. For like no, reason, it seems like. And then it gets you involved in a war that you have to spend time and energy on getting yourself out of. Luckily, in this case, there is no land border shared. No, there is a fucking land border. Yeah, right. There is a land border shared between us. Technically, Sicily and Naples do border each other. So it's going to be important that I make sure that I keep an eye on these Italian fleets and really track them and make sure that I outnumber them. Because as long as I outnumber them in the siege regions, they should not make these suicidal attacks. They still might. I feel like I've seen that happen before, but I think that's going to be the key, is that I need to make sure that I keep building my fire galleys, which are my strongest boats so far. And I need to make sure that I have a fire galley in addition to another boat, possibly another galley in every single province that contains an Italian, or a sea region that contains a Italian boat. So that's going to be the goal there. Let's bring these fire galleys up as well. And do I have, yep, here's another fire galley. Let's bring you up. And do I have any more? No, you guys can stay here. And yes, this fire galley can move up as well. Okay, that's looking good. I can bring a few more down because the Italians have brought boats all the way down to the Gulf of Valencia. So they are building boats. They just used to have enough boats to get them barely to Sicily. And now they've built at least 3 more by the looks of it. So that's good good for them, but I need to really keep an eye on that and sort of keep up with my own naval production. And maybe they can, I don't know, not necessarily challenge the Central European powers, but just provide a check, to their balances. So speaking of which, Spain finally did something. They did take Aquitaine off of the rebels, so they're also starting to project themselves into this region. From here on out, though, it's going to get a lot harder because the rebel forces here in Anjou and Normandy and Brittany are all pretty solid. The ones in Brittany are weak troops, but there's a lot of numbers here. So whichever direction they strike out in, I would prefer them to take Brittany because then they would have a port that I could trade with. But that's all in due time, right? Because eventually, once the Mongols take Khazar, then I'm going to try to get that ceasefire with the rebel forces. So, and then I can trade with them. So that's going to be the key. Now, the Germans, right when I just got in a ceasefire with them, they did declare another crusade on Antioch. They really, really want Antioch. Like, they just finished dealing with a civil war that I had engineered, and that's not good enough. They wanted to start a second war right after losing the first one. Now, who would do that? Germany. Who would do that? Well, my economy is looking okay. It's sitting at about 6,000, but I want that extra money that I was making off the Germans. They have a few ports now. They did take Venice off the rebels, so that's another victory for them. And their emperor is up to, is it a 5? Yeah, he's up to 5 influence. So, he's kind of doing okay now that he's won his civil war. So I need to, you know, reverse that. And the Hungarian Crusade, this was started here, so I can just destroy this crusade or this chapter house here in Hungary, and that should do it. There's also a chapter house in Croatia, so I am tempted to attack both provinces just to make sure the job is done. I did realize, I was thinking at first that I was going to have to attack Croatia and then attack Hungary through Croatia to avoid this river battle, but then I realized, oh yes, right. As long as I'm attacking from Bulgaria into Hungary, I will not have to fight a river battle. So I can attack both provinces at the same time. I probably will do that. I think I can spare an easy three stacks from both Serbia and Bulgaria to attack these two provinces while still, you know, making sure that the Hungarians or the Polish don't attack me. I don't think either faction would do that, but the Poles are just so weak. They're so weak. Yeah, they're having a rough time, and the Hungarians as well aren't looking too hot either. And the Hungarians would have to fight a river battle, I believe, if they wanted to attack me. Yeah, so they would have to fight a river battle to attack me. The Poles, do they have to? Yeah, they do as well. Yeah, so there's no way. Yeah, I will leave 2 stacks, you know, 2 or 3 stacks, and I can bring the rest to Hungary. And yeah, I can attack Croatia as well. And that should get rid of those chapter houses. And so what, like, is there going to be any more chapter houses that the Germans can pull a crusade marker out of their ass? Like, so there is one in Friesland. That's another thing that I might, man, I just was there. I was just in Friesland. So they must have rebuilt that because chapter houses are automatically destroyed when you invade a province. So that's interesting. There's also one here in Burgundy. So yeah, it's there, you know, gosh, I might have to keep doing this with Germany. We'll see. Because yeah, as long as I know that this is an interesting topic that I'm not too familiar with. I think it does have an answer though. So there's that. And that is that these crusading factions, like the Germans, the English, the French, the Italians, I'm pretty sure that these don't remain as, I mean, they don't even have the crusades as GA objectives right now. Do the Italians? Does no one? Wait, what's going on here? No one has the crusades as GA objectives. So that must, is that period over, or is it going to start up again? I know that historically they were like roughly over around this time period. Wasn't this around the time period that I'm trying to remember, was it the Fourth Crusade? Was that 1205? And that's when that's when Constantinople got sacked by the Latins essentially, and the Byzantine Empire kind of took a time out for a few years. I don't know how long that period lasted though. That's what I don't know. So I could just pause the video, but I'm going to keep going here. I don't know if the Crusades are still like, I was going to say that maybe they would stop once they're no longer part of the GA points, but the fact that Germany is still going for Antioch is interesting. That means that the AI has some strategical agency to use crusades, even if they're not objectives. You know, it still wants to achieve getting this rich province, or the AI just knows that launching successful crusades raises influence, or something. You know, like maybe like there's something that maybe the AI just knows that it should keep using crusades, is what I'm trying to say here. So I'm curious to see how long that lasts into this campaign. You know, will they keep doing this? And what I mean by this, my query, this is because if I destroy these chapter houses to a point, will they just keep rebuilding them forever and ever and ever? Or does the AI essentially get to a point in the campaign where they're like, all right, I'm done. That was a phase. I'm over it. You've destroyed my shit. We're done crusading. That's what I wonder, you know, so if I do this and I take out Croatia and Hungary and I mess up their shit, you know, and then they probably will launch another crusade from Burgundy, say, or maybe Friesland, And then I could simply launch another attack, right? You know, just take a little tour right down their western flank of Provence and Burgundy and Lorraine and Friesland and just kind of go right through the territories, messing all their shit up, and then go home. Would that be it? Would they finally be like, all right, we're done? You know, like let's stop doing that. That's not fun anymore. Also, they should have at some point a Swiss problem. There's going to be a Swiss faction reemergence or emergence at some point that should discombobulate their situation. So I am curious to see. This is my first time dealing with like I know it's still relatively early in the campaign, but a lot of times I really do deal with a real powerful just one faction. I'm looking at you, France, taking over the entire thing, and I've done well. I you know, patting myself on the back here to actually try to keep things balanced to a point here in Western and Central Europe. So it's interesting for me to see this and to see how crazy things are going to get here. Like once the Swiss show up, will that be it then? Like for German aggression in my area, maybe I could even get a ceasefire with them if they still hold these two provinces. Can I finally just get a ceasefire with because they're dealing with the Swiss? You know, that's going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. For now, though, I do need to go mess their shit up and teach them a lesson. But in any case, making $6,000 or almost $6,000 a turn is not the worst thing in the world. It's just that by the time the Mongols show up, I would like to, if I can, have a ceasefire with the Germans. That would be nice. You know, that would be nice. And I have a little bit of time left to figure this out. So for the time being, I think that man, it's really tempting to go like, yay, I don't need to keep training stuff, and I don't need to keep sending stuff to Georgia because look at this, like it's kind of ridiculous, right? But I think that's the worst thing I could do, you know. I think I have to keep training Varangian guards, you know. Keep training Trebizond archers, and they're, you know, even though they're expensive upkeep, but yeah, do that. Keep training Pronoia Legion and sending them to Naples to retrain. And yeah, Byzantine Cav, let's just do it. Palestine, Byzantine infantry, sure, let's just keep doing that. Boats, yeah, let's just, all the boats, let's just keep getting fire galleys going, and cataphracts are being trained here in Constantinople. Greece, let's keep going with the Varangians. Bulgaria, I can do some good archers here, but I've been working towards the Bulgarian brigands for so long. It just feels like a shame to not get those guys. Can I not? Where can I get the? Okay, so crossbows I can get in Sinai. I should probably build this up to get. Yeah, I should probably do a Boyar's Guild here, so that this is a province where I can get my Byzantine cav, but also get better archers. Because right now the only place I can get my really good archers is Bulgaria, and I'm talking about my my arbalesters and my Pavis arbalesters. Oh, I should just do that, shouldn't I? I really want to get Bulgarians, but the Pavis arbalesters are just infinitely more better at fighting the Mongols. Yeah, let's do that until I can train these guys over in what's this place? Where is that? Sinai? Yeah. Let's just do that. That seems intelligent. And spears. Yeah, I'm just doing spears in Serbia. That's just kind of, it's pretty basic, but I'm just upgrading the shit out of these guys so I can get the job done. Where are you going, spy? You're going to Croatia? No, you're not. You're gonna stay here and you're gonna kill that bishop. That's what I'm thinking. And do we have an answer for this emissary that's wandering through our territory? I think so. We do have, so Prince Manuel, is it Prince Manuel? Yes. Finally come of age, and he's good, right? Like he has 7 dread and 4 command, 5 acumen. He's better than his dad in every way, who's often drunk. That's his problem. The fact that this hasn't gotten worse is impressive. You know, I thought that this was going to get way worse, but I think often drunk was only the second drunk trait in that line, in that vice line. So, you know, kudos to you, man, for keeping it together, keeping it relatively together, right? So, you know, he's fine, right? You know, 4 acumen, 3 command, and 5 dread, a shit ton of influence. The fact that his son, though, is better in every way. So that extra point of acumen is going to reflect on our economy by adding a percentage increase. The fact that he has more command as well is good. Killer Instinct is giving him +2 Valor and +1 Dread, and Secret Blackmailer is not going to be an issue once he becomes Emperor because your loyalty to yourself does not matter. So this is not going to be an important thing. And for now, he has plenty of loyalty. Even if he loses 3 pips, he's going to be totally fine. So I'm happy with him as my next in line. That feels pretty good. I'm trying to decide whether I want to attack with the Emperor or do I want to attack with his son. How about I just attack with someone who's not vital to the success of my campaign? Like this guy, Nicephorus Retsuflus. Yeah, this is the guy I'm not going to pretend to remember. I don't know. Maybe Blackmailer. I'm wondering if this is the guy that redeemed himself. Yeah, the Blackmailer with the -3 loyalty, but the fact that he's like doing okay is good. And then 4 command. Good runner's bad though, but it's canceled out by the charismatic leader with the +3 morale and the -3 morale. So let's just send him to lead my armies into Hungary. And then as far as the attack on Croatia goes, I do have a 5-star general here as well. Basil Mertzuphalus. Yeah, 5 stars. Most loyal. That doesn't do anything for battlefield command. Yeah, no trains do, but the 5 stars is good as well. So those will be my leaders for this expedition. And let's see, I don't want you to chase. That's something I try to keep an eye on, is making sure that my assassins do not chase targets out into other territories so that they end up getting caught. I try to keep them in my home territories. I don't always succeed at that, but I try my best. I try to keep my assassins just, killing people within my regions. And then when I do my attack, like for this, so this would be a good example. I could try to assassinate this 3-star general, and that's all he offers. He's the 3-star general, that's it. And we do have a 4-star leading this crusade. I can assassinate crusade generals, right? I don't know why I wouldn't be able to. And let's see, 2-star general, does he offer anything? No, not really. He's not, it's just 2 stars. And then, so it's just the 2 generals. It's the 4-star and the 2-star. Okay. Well, I'll see if I can assassinate those guys as well as this guy, and before making my attacks. My assassins should be decent. 3 stars on him, 4 stars on him, and then 4 stars, and then 4 stars. Yeah, that's good shit. Yeah, getting assassins in Syria, that's pretty good. And even if like they have a border fort, yeah, both of these provinces have border forts. Still, the extra valor on this assassins is going to help them increase their chances of successfully avoiding those border forts. So I will get my armies together and I will make my attacks, probably bringing like 3 stacks into each province will be my guess. And as I mentioned, I will just continue to train soldiers for Georgia. And just like that, the Germans will be retreating from Hungary. And I'm pretty sure that just means that in this case, that crusade will just disappear, of course, because that chapter house is going to be destroyed. So that's a bad move by Hungary, or by Germany. Jeez, oh Pete's. And yes, same thing here in Croatia as well. They are not willing to fight over this, and they will be losing both places. Now my emperor just died. Okay, well, luckily my heir just came of age a turn ago, so that feels just in the nick of time. And then yeah, my general actually that was leading this army, he just died. Of course, this captain will just be taking over that unit, so that'll be fine. And it looks like I'm catching Spanish assassins here in Bulgaria, and we have a famine here in Anatolia as well. So I will have to make sure that I check the population loyalty in Anatolia, because that always usually dips during these natural disasters. Now, is there anything? Let's see, moral flexibility on one of my guys, so he's easier to bribe, so I will have to kind of keep an eye on that. And anything else, say a +1 loyalty, humanist, +4 acumen, -4 piety, and then strange. That's a bad one, but I don't think he matters, so that should be fine. And yeah, that's it. Like, there's no chapter houses now in either province. That's that. Is there an immediate civil war? How about where's the German guy? Where'd he go? Where's the German emperor? There you are. So he's already down to 2. Yeah, 2 influence, and he's also crack brained. So that's also, you know, leading to -20 happiness just with that as well. It is, of course, tempting to siege out this garrison here in Hungary as well as Croatia. It'd only take 2 turns for this garrison and then 2 turns for this garrison to starve them out, and then take these territories and then try to make these territories be taken by the Hungarians. If I could just simply have the Hungarians owning these lands and essentially cutting off the Germans so that it's easier for me to get these auto ceasefires with them than it is to... Then I could just have like basically 1 enemy on my borders instead of 2. Is kind of the thought process there, but I can't guarantee that rebels wouldn't just take it, right? And if rebels do take it, I don't know if Hungary is strong enough to beat rebels, honestly. You know, it's kind of a tough call, so I am considering just withdrawing at this and just going back to my territories and calling it a day's work, because I don't know, 2 influence... I don't know if 2 influence is low enough, honestly. I do not know if that's low enough. And, gosh, you know, a part of me is wondering if I would receive a German counterattack. Just to get something to really bloody them a bit, you know, and make them think twice about it. But the other thought is this. The fact that those soldiers... See, the thing is that these... So the Crusade units did not disappear. The Crusade units are still here. You know, you see these Teutonic Knights and yeah, what have you. You know, Order foot soldiers. That's interesting. So they don't disappear. It's just the Crusade disappears. So now these units are they have to pay for them. That's very interesting. That could put them in a crunch that they were not anticipating. And that might make them... I wonder if that's part of the consideration when you're suing for peace. I wonder if the AI thinks, hey, I need money because I'm paying for all of these units that I initially wasn't. So even though staying here and finishing this siege is tempting, just because they might counterattack and then I could get a fight in and actually bloody them a bit, the fact that they're paying for those units right now... That makes me think that could really... I don't know, but then there's also ransoming. That's another thing that could happen. Is me capturing, you know, their soldiers, ransoming them back to them, and then that puts them at a crunch as well. It's a tough call. I think I'm gonna see about this. I'm gonna see about retreating. You know, mission accomplished. And ooh, my new emperor was crowned in Croatia. Jesus, that's not where I want you. You can go back over here, please. Emperor Manuel the First. Yeah. Tons of influence. Yeah, good shit. That's nice. The rest of you can go back to Serbia as well, though. And Assassin, you can come back, please. Yep. That would be fine. And yeah, Germans retake your territories. That's fine. And just by the nature of diminishing their emperor's influence, let's see next turn if that's going to help me get a ceasefire. If not, we might have to pursue a more aggressive strategy with, you know, bashing their faces in and capturing their soldiers and ransoming them back to them, and then maybe trying to get a ceasefire. Like that's the other option. Yes, that is the other option. And very easy to accomplish as well. You know, we can just literally repeat the same steps. Capture their territories, have them retreat, and then be counterattacked. I'm finding that that is often kind of the pattern of things in this game. Typically, the way that at least I attack in overwhelming numbers. That's I like to have at least 2 stacks plus a backup stack. I don't know if that's overdoing it, but I feel like that's a smart thing to do because it's a big map and it's easy to overextend yourself, and I don't want armies to be basically cut off. I want them to be self-sufficient if they are cut off. So that's the one thing I'm wondering too, because this is the pattern, is that usually my attacks will be in enough numbers so that there's like retreats across the board. You know, every position attacked there's going to be a retreat. But then there's often a counterattack in the next turn, not on all provinces because I usually don't have the numbers, but at least on like one of them. And then that's where the big battle's going to be, is they're going to concentrate their forces on one of the points of my line, my new line, which is oftentimes an extended line from where it used to be because I like to keep my lines short, right? And usually it's going to be easier to find an extended point on my line and concentrate all of their forces on that point, right? So that seems to be the pattern in this game. At least when I play, I'm really curious to see if you guys can actually get a lot of offensive battles to be fought. You know, like, do you actually just bring less troops on purpose to get offensive battles in? I don't mind my way of doing it. It seems like a fine way of playing it. Defensive battles are cool. I like playing offensively, but defensive battles are also, they're fine. You know, I can win them. So it's an interesting thing, and I think that would be the pattern, is if I wanted to accomplish this, I would do what I just said. I push them back and then wait for the counterattack, which, yeah, it might happen, you know, because I think 3 of these armies were Hungarian armies, and then one of these, I'm assuming, was the Bohemian garrison, essentially, right? So they could probably find a way to rotate soldiers over to Bohemia to hold it, and then attack with 4 armies against my 3. And then they could also bring out their garrison as well to join the battle. And that would be their way of concentrating force. So, yeah, something to think about, for me at least. You don't have to think about anything if you don't want to, but I'm going to think about this because I'm wondering if I need to maybe think more about attacking with less soldiers so I can get decisive battles during my attacks, instead of just having people retreat from me. This is wonderful news. The Germans have accepted my offer of a ceasefire, and that was the dying act of the German Empire, or the German Emperor, because he has just died and someone else has taken over the Holy Roman Empire. Yeah, that's wonderful news. Okay, awesome. The Hungarians still insist on fighting just this ongoing war with us forever and ever and ever and ever. Oh, hey, there we go. I lost track of that. I kind of forgot about the homelands. So yes, I have scored 12 points off of homelands. I think I got another 5 points off of conquest. 5 points off of that? Yeah. Yeah, so that's looking good. I'm outpacing everyone. I mean, I think the Alma Heads did gain an additional, like, 1 more point. I made 17 and they made 18, I believe, last I checked. But I'm still far ahead. The Germans are, you know, they're... No, they're not. They're not. At first I was... Is that 114? It's hard to read that, but yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well for now, and it's going to be interesting going into next year to see how and if the points objectives for me does change. But getting that ceasefire, the new, or with the old emperor, I believe, 4 influence, so yeah, he's like going to do okay, I think. Natural leader, great builder. So yeah, plus in happiness in all provinces. And, ooh, wow, plus 40% zeal in governing, okay. Interesting. So if he has any governors that are not pious, that might be an issue, but yeah, I don't know if it's really worth checking it. Yeah, it looks like he has some pretty pious governors here that I'm seeing. Oh, this one's not. The Duke of Lorraine. He's not pious at all. So how's it Zeal here? So 65% Zeal, but they have a big army here in Lorraine, so that probably can't be taken advantage of. I'm thinking about this though. I'm sending some spies here. Venice and Tyrolia and Switzerland do not have border forts, so I can send them here. Let's see. Yeah, 74% Zeal. The population loyalty with normal taxes is 125%, and ooh, I can try to get my guy married. The Danes and the French have turned me down when I'm trying to find a wife for my new emperor, but maybe I can marry the Germans? We will see. Everyone's been saying no to me for a long time, so maybe that's just a Byzantine thing. But yeah, that's let's see, let's check this. This is yes, oh, that's so good. That's so nice. Keep it there forever. 8,683 florins. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I like to see. And hey, there's no crusade markers on the field. Knock on wood. Like actually, because yeah, I want that to stay this way. But I'm going to be sending spies here to these inner provinces to try to just see what I can cause. See if I can cause some issues here. And earlier I was talking a little bit about religious warfare, so I may as well, since I have the time and the resources, I may as well start sending some, let's see, I was using these guys. Start sending guys, some priests out here to see if I can increase the orthodoxy and cause some issues here. We have 22% orthodoxy here in Switzerland, and then 14% in Tyrolia, and then 11% here in Venice. So it's going to be worth keeping an eye on to see if this has any effect at destabilizing their regions here. Because I want to maintain, we got a ceasefire, that's good, but like I want to make sure that we maintain this ceasefire. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, this is to go from enemies to this. So yes, my emperor does have a wife, and she is German. What a turn of events. That's so cool. Awesome. Yeah, I really needed that. I was getting a little bit afraid that no one was going to let me marry their princesses. So that, yeah, that's my greatest fear. So that's interesting. This is also interesting. Novgorod's took Khazar. Jesus. They're looking good, aren't they? I mean, this is good. It's probably not going to, you know, beat the Mongols, but that's a decent stack, isn't it? Not as good as this, but hey, it's not between us. They better not start a war between me and them, like right before the Mongols show up. Like that would be so dumb. Like guys, just, you know, focus on yourself. It's crazy that, okay, I was gonna say, okay. Wow, they're prince. So their ruler is a prince? Oh. Interesting. Yeah, tons of influence, but like nothing else. That's really interesting. Prince Vladimir the First. Does he have heirs? You know, or are these people gonna like die right away, just like the English did when they got my hopes up? I really hope that they have heirs somewhere. But the fact that he's 34, so he still has time, even if he doesn't have heirs yet. And he's still going to be alive, and the Novgorods will still be around by the time the Russians or the Mongols show up. So, and this is going to fall as well, so they're going to conquer Volga, Bulgaria. Interesting. Okay, I think, see, now I don't know for sure, but I think that when the Mongols arrive, that Khazar is a river battle, and Volga, Bulgaria as well, perhaps? I mean, there is a river going right down the, you know, right down these provinces, but I don't know how it works when someone's coming from off map, you know, I can't check that, so I can just look there and it says waterways none. Okay, that's interesting. Well, this also says waterways none. Okay. But if you attack from Muscovy into Volga, Bulgaria, you have to fight a river battle. It's so odd. And then so no river battle if you invade Khazar for Volga, Bulgaria. So yeah, that's still a little interesting. Some interesting. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the Novgorods hold up against the Mongols. Yeah, in any case, this is looking good. You know, a profit is sitting at around 9 grand. I like it a lot. That is wonderful news. My dude's married now, so you should start having kids. You're only 22. You look great. You can start having kids at some point. And the French have taken Anjou. That's a bit of a surprise. I kind of thought they're going to get stuck here for a while, but that's, hey, you know, hey, whatever. Go France. I'll root for you for now. And we'll see if you can take Brittany, and then I can make money off of you. That'll be fine. The Spanish are behaving themselves. We did get a new set of glorious achievements objectives, and mine have remained the same. Or maybe they changed, but the numbers are the same. I'm still going to make 17 points as of now. You know, things remain the same. The Alma heads are going to make a bit more. You know, they're looking at 18, 20, 24 points. So they might do a little bit of catching up here. You know, for a faction that's only, like, they've literally taken one province, which is Portugal. And that's all they've done. And yeah, that's the Alma heads for you, you know, just chilling out, collecting points. I mean, I'm one to talk, right? But hey, at least I got rid of 2 factions. I did my job. And I'm about to do a full job here as well, so you know I'm about to earn these points. Okay, it's gonna be happening. It's gonna happen. But in the meantime, now that I got, you know, I'm married to that German princess, I'm gonna continue to try to destroy their livelihoods by using religion and spies. How's this going? 112%. Taxes or loyalty on very low taxes, and then yeah, very low taxes and very high taxes. Okay, well, Duke of Venice. So this is the guy who's actually the governor here, and yeah, he has a happiness. He does have a happiness trait, so that's good for them. Yeah, and the dread helps as well. Sending an assassin in there to get rid of him, it's not the worst idea. At least to lower their taxes, you know. I mean, I know that's a small drop in the pond of trying to get rid of the, or not getting rid of the Germans, but to destabilize the Germans. But every little bit helps, I suppose. Oh, perfect. This is lovely to see. The Spanish have taken Brittany. That's really good. I like that. Oh, yes, and here we go. The Golden Horde have emerged. That looks like a good battle. I mean, I know the Russians are still outnumbered 2-1, but the fact that the Russians still have that many forces there in Khazar, that feels good. Oh, that's awesome. That's just an awesome sight. A vast horde of Mongol warriors has invaded from the east, intent on carving out their own kingdom and adding to it the great Khanate that stretches all the way to Japan. They call themselves the Golden Horde. None are safe from this new threat. A number of other rebellions in progress have declared allegiance to this faction. Number of provinces being attacked are 2. I wonder what the other one is. Is it Volga Bulgaria? Let's just get to the good stuff. What is the other province? Oh, yeah, this... Okay, I was wondering about this. Interesting. That's interesting. Huh. Huh. That's complicated. Yeah. So, I need... What do I do about that? God, it's funny. I was wondering about this because I felt like that I'd seen this happen before, but I was wondering if either A, it had happened while this is a Des Armenia, you know, did this happen while Armenia was under rebel rule, or was it like the faction's fault for having low loyalty or whatever, which in neither case applies in this instance. It's just simply the Mongols will attack Armenia, and, you know, and then you have to do something about that. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, just as a reminder, because for my practice campaign where I did play as the Byzantines, I did not take the Turkish and Egyptian territory, any of it. I was even more defensive than I was in this one. And obviously there's some give and take there. You know, I didn't have these rich provinces, but I also did not have to fight against any Crusader factions as well. So there was some give and take. And the only province that I had to defend against the Mongols was Georgia. So there's that as well. How's the land here? So it is mountainous, arid ground, inland, obviously. So they have not attacked yet. You know, this does not count as an attack. I can still move as many stacks into Armenia as I want, and then they would be fighting, you know, obviously a battle as an attacker. Now, if I win that battle, they technically have nowhere to run to, right? Like they can't just, you know, like in other instances, for instance, if they owned this province, right? If they already owned it, if this attack had already essentially happened and they were already here, then if I were to attack them and say like an overwhelming force, then a lot of these stacks could just scatter, right? Some of them could go to Trebizond and Rum and Syria even. And in this instance, though, I think that we still have to fight this first fight for what, you know, to decide who owns this province, right? And then if I win, I would imagine all of this disappears, you know, or I capture them and I get to ransom them back to the Golden Horde. So that's interesting. I can literally take my time, look at the forces here, see what matches up. I mean, there's a fuck ton of Mongol heavy cav. Oh my god. Yeah, this is a really, really good heavy cav unit. Then they have Mongol horse archers. Obviously, light cav horse archer unit, but it's my understanding that it's also fairly decent in melee. I'm not sure what's a better hybrid cav unit, the Byzantine cav or the Mongol horse archers. I know the Byzantine cavalry it's good. It's competent in melee. So I don't know if they're good enough to beat Mongol horse archers. That'd be interesting to look up. Then Mongol warriors, same thing. It's a hybrid unit, archer on foot, but it can also get into melee and fight. They have some naphtha throwers as well. And then other than that, it's I believe they get some steppe cav. Maybe they don't have any steppe cav in this army though, because this army, like the steppe is up here essentially. So yeah, they have steppe cav up here. This is a regular steppe cav. This is the light steppe cav, which is good. They get armor upgrades on it as well. How do they get armor up? Wait, do these guys have armor upgrades? No armor upgrades. I'm seeing a 3-star general, 1 loyalty. Jesus. Huh. That's interesting. So 3-star generals, are anyone higher than him? I'm not seeing anything higher than a 3-star general. And oh, there's two 3-star generals. Okay. And he has 0 loyalty. So these guys go would they go rebel from the Mongols just like right away? I don't know. Because they're like split off from the other Mongols. Is that why? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm really curious. I don't think they're going to last long enough for us to find out. I think I can just match up to them, right? You know, what do they have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stacks. And then I can bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could bring 8 right down. And then that'd leave Georgia with only 4 stacks. But that gives me a turn though, doesn't it? Like the Mongols would not be attacking Georgia from Khazar, right? They still have to fight this battle, right? Like they can't attack Georgia at the end of this turn. They have to wait till next turn to do that. I'm pretty sure, right? That's a big deal. That's a big deal. I can send 8 stacks down and just, you know, exterminate this force here. But that would leave, you know, just like 4 stacks up here in Georgia. So that's a complicated decision to make. I could definitely bring over, you know, say like a stack or two from my Western Front. I really don't want to bring too much though, because I don't like, I feel good. The fact that I'm at peace with everyone except for the Hungarians. And I don't want to present a weak front that makes someone feel like they can attack me. Because they're going to behave themselves amongst each other. Amongst Catholics, they're pretty cool. But I feel like as soon as they witness some Orthodox weakness, they're going to come in here and mess me up. So, and not mess me up. Like, I don't think I'd lose a battle. Like, I think that just, I don't want that war to happen in the first place. I want to keep trading with these factions. So, I don't really want to bring forces from my Western Front. Same with Naples. You know, like the Italians they have something in Sicily, right? And I think they'll behave themselves as long as I have 4 stacks in Naples. They're not going to attack me, I don't think. And as long as I can stay vigilant and making sure that my boats outnumber theirs in each of the sea regions that have their boats, I still think we're good. The Almohad force in Cyrenaica is very, very weak, but then still that would allow me to send, you know, 1 stack to Georgia. It's not much. It's not much. I think that what I'm going to do is gamble on the fact... I'm going to gamble on the fact that I think that this battle still has to be fought before these Mongol forces can attack into Georgia, allowing me to send many of my forces into Armenia, and I can exterminate this force, and then I can turn my attention back to Georgia and await the blow from the Mongols. And it's going to be interesting to see how much of a fight the Novgorods put up. I hope they stand and fight here in Khazar, because that's it. Once they split up, you know, I feel like that's going to give the advantage to the Mongols. In any case, here's the thing. You know what I'm about to say. You know I'm about to end this episode, but I just want to like preface the next few episodes. What's typically going to happen, at least in my experience with these battles with the Mongols, they're big battles. You know, they take a lot of time, and on my end, they actually take a lot of energy as well to fight these battles and to stay vigilant during the entire thing. Typically, they are won through a battle timeout, essentially. I have no shame in that. Battles would disengage typically once night fell. Not all the times, but typically armies wouldn't, you know, just fight until every person was dead. You know, typically armies would disengage at some point. And if that's how, you know, that's how I win my battles against these hordes, that I'm fine with that. You know, I did the same thing against the Mongols and the Mongol invasion in Shogun. But it does involve staying vigilant. You know, you have to really kind of stay on it to make sure all of your soldiers are protecting all of your sides, you know, and making sure that there's going to be periods of the battle where you just stand there and get shot by a million archers, you know, and you just have to stand there and stay in your forest. If you have a forest, you have to stay there, and you have to make sure that, you know, not all units can be in loose formation, because they're going to lose morale by being in loose formation. And you need someone that can hold a charge, you know, or stand against a charge if the Mongols charge all of a sudden. So it's a constant vigilance between, you know, really just kind of making sure, you know, your X's and O's are all marked and filled and everything is good to go. And what I'm trying to say is they're very long battles, and the next few turns are just going to be 1 turn at a time per episode, and probably just 1 battle per episode as well. And that's all that I'm gonna have for each episode. So I'm not gonna try to drag it out. I'm not gonna try to fit 2 battles into 1 episode. Because I just, you know, what you're gonna get is a bad commander. You know, you're gonna get me fighting that second battle, and I'll be losing concentration, and that's not what I want, and I don't think that's what you want either. So that's me prefacing what's gonna happen for the next few episodes. And I'm looking forward to this. This has been something that I've been preparing for a very long time, and it still took me by surprise. This is not something that I fully expected. I had an inclination. I was building up my my building here. I do have a citadel, here in Armenia that I've been building up, and I'll see if I can get the job done here. But in any case, that's all going to have to wait for until next time. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Concept playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.